Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest Worlds of ZZT livestream. I'm Dr. Das, curator of the Museum of ZZT, and will be your tour guide today for the first stream in a month-long celebration of ZZT's 35th anniversary. On January 15th, 1991, a frightening 35 years ago, ZZT was released to the world. And so this month, we're going to be playing not one, not two, but all four of the original ZZT worlds that started it all, collecting our very first purple keys, and more importantly, giving us a world editor that allowed hundreds of everyday folks, many who had no programming experience whatsoever, the opportunity to create their own games. For the past 35 years, folks have been doing exactly that. Got us a good several thousand ZZT worlds out there, and it's all thanks to that little editor, and probably a huge part of it being accessible even in the shareware version. The open nature of ZZT did a lot to make it a success. So, as is tradition, around every January, we usually go back and play just one of these worlds, but for ZZT's 30th, we played all four. I figure we can continue that trend of every fifth year. We'll just go through every single dang one of them. I was looking in advance to see how long it's been since we played some of these. You know, people have their preferences, unsurprisingly. People enjoy picking Town a lot. It's kind of the definitive world. Hello. Also, yeah, hello everybody. Welcome on in. It's been a little bit. I haven't been streaming due to holidays and such. We're back now. Just in time for year 35. I was looking here at some of these games. I thought what would be fun to do. I went back into all the VODs of every time I played one of the original worlds. And I kinda rigged together some high scores. So we can see if we can actually beat our score. We last played Town back in 2022. Apparently it was not quite up to par with the 2021. So I thought that would be something fun to do, to see. I only I only bothered, well, I did edit them in. I literally edited these worlds and put a smiley face that gave me the correct amount of points, because I don't have these consistent high score files. So, I have no idea how many times I died. Never know. I guess they'll start getting added to this list. Hopefully, I can 1cc this. I've done it before, with Town at least. I think Town's the only one of these I've ever gotten through without screwing up at some point. Fragged Tim Sweeney easily in Fortnite. I bet. Even in the ZZT newsletter, he's saying, like, I'm a lot better at, like, making these, playing these. I'm no good at playing them. And I feel like the skill ceiling in Fortnite is probably a little bit higher than getting high scores in Town. Let's see. Welcome on everybody. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Happy ZZT Sunday and all. Check out Game World number 1, Town of ZZT. We're just going with the classic 3.2 version for all of these. In previous years, I've jumped around just to play old revisions for other silly, weird things, but just to show them off. But boy, that made finding the high scores more of a pain, actually, because I had to remember that, like, Worlds of ZZT version of City existed and such. Ellipses, welcome on in. Thank you for the 10 gift subs here. We're gonna get a bunch of purple keys right now, before we even hit play. Congrats to the 10 lucky viewers. Getting some gift subs. Always a treat. Thank you again for your continued support. Appreciate it. Keys. Oh, how many keys are there? Okay, that seems to be all 10. Alright, we can appreciate this title screen for just a second longer. This is all you need to know. Here's some items, here's some enemies. There's gonna be some other stuff too. Go nuts. And purple keys closer. Yeah! Well, you know. Honestly, I kind of want to play around with what we do for those subscribers bonus streams a bit. I've been half thinking of just making Gate play some of my old ZZT. See what that's like, but it'll depend. See what the vibe is like. Alright, we've got a nice colorful title screen and a nice colorful world. This game, unsurprisingly, being the first one and the shareware episode, everybody kind of latched onto this one. Welcome to the Town of ZZT. Everybody remembers Hitmondeath. Apparently that's my legacy with my childhood games, I swear. Your task is to find the 5 purple keys that are hidden throughout the town. These keys unlock the doors leading into the palace, your destination. That's all the plot we're gonna get. Your search for the keys will lead you through the town in all 4 directions. On the way, you will battle ferocious creatures and solve intricate puzzles. Health points. You start out with 100 health points and lose 10 when a creature or bullet hits you. You can gain health by collecting gems, 1 point each. Codified right there. Quickly changed in Super ZZT when we realized that health is kind of an issue, especially in town. This is a game where I think like the maximum health you could have is like in the low 200s. So do not get hit. Every time I get hit, I am making the game far more perilous for myself. This is a game very much designed around the fact that you will get hit too many times and have to start over. Even if you haven't soft locked, because otherwise it's going to be a pain. You're supposed to sit down with this one again and again until you finally do a good enough job. Thankfully, we can always save. Oh, Marbles, thank you for 26 months of subs. Ah, the old hype train. I don't have my subscriber count. Get that later. You should frequently use the save command to save the game in progress. That way if you are hit or get stuck in a room, you can go back and try again. This is very important. As they say, nobody wins ZZT without doing a zillion saves. I should really add like a save counter. I'm curious how many zillions of saves I need to get through all these. Especially with my habits where I just save constantly. The purple keys. 5 keys are kept in various parts of the town. Each time you find a new one, you must bring it to the palace and unlock another door. Once you get into the palace, you're almost done. And you can bring up a detailed help file by pressing H during the game, which looks like this, but we're not going to go through that. Try touching things. That's all you need to know. With comparisons, these games got some very minor updates for early years, mostly rebranding from Potomac to Epic. But I know the original 2.0 release of ZZT, this is an actual scroll, so you get those instructions once and only once. I mean, we gotta start with the... You have to. Like, sorry folks, it's the armory. We meet our first character, our first object, the doorbell. We just immediately get to learn that most people are going to be kind of rude to us. We got our first puzzle, and our first puzzle has nothing to do with boulders and sliders. It has to do with, you know, recognizing a pattern. The doorbell at just the right time. Locked room. I remember absolutely being stumped by that as a child. Yeah, this ZZT taught me a lot of words. Unfortunately, several of them were not spelled correctly. And then other ZZTers of the late 90s taught me a lot of words that I probably shouldn't have learned. That's the power of community, baby. Our first shop? You must be new to town. Want to be successful around here, you'll need to buy some supplies. Of course, the free advice. Whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, and the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long. The forest will echo with laughter. The first of many transcriptions of song lyrics into ZZT games. Where's that mod of ZZT Snarfoogle where you actually activate this and then just the MP3 starts playing? Of course, we got our armory. I remember this little tune of picking stuff up just being really good. Classic sound. You did a good job with the sound effects, all things considered. It's not like PC Speaker is the easiest thing to work with, but they're all easily identifiable. They sound kind of nice, repeated like that, and even you mix and match items. Where do we want to go? I have decided I wanted to do the right path last. But I'm realizing the top path is blocked off until you have enough money. Although I think we actually have enough money. Is 10 gems enough money? How much is the toll? I'm gonna try it, because I can't tell you if I've ever actually beaten the northern path first, the path to the castle. This board was just the coolest thing as a kid. There's this neat little obstacle course. All kinds of stuff moving and blinking. I think it's 10 gems. I want to say it's 10 gems. I thought there was something to make it a little more difficult to just immediately go there. Do not get hit. This is currently a perfect run of the game. And guess what? Will not stay that way. Well, I got a sad cat for our hype train, everybody. Look at this sad cat. Thank you again, Ellipses. And marbles. Everyone dropping the subs today. It's fun that a lot of this stuff eventually ZZTers would start complaining about the over-labeling, but like, it's adorable here. It's got heart, this game. All these games really do. Alright, yeah, 10 gems. And go here. I guess you just have to prove your worth by solving a puzzle. Or pay for passage, or forget about the castle. We'll bribe the troll. A lot of bribes. That's how money works, I guess. There we go, we've got our first purple key. Now, you know me, I'm always forgetting to open those doors. Oh no! The troll blocks me. Nobody leaves the castle without the scepter of lots and lots of power. Return to your quest. Now we have to play a different game. We have to play a fantasy adventure. I'm gonna immediately make a fool of myself, because to this day, I still don't have the labyrinth layout particularly well mapped in my head. I should have grabbed my framed town map off the wall in the other room. Very aggressive lions. You know, if we're keeping track of high scores, though, I probably do want to take out as many enemies as possible. Well, this guy's really coming for me. I know some time ago, folks were wondering like what the theoretical maximum score is of this game. Honestly, actually genuinely going for a high score makes even a single lion scary. But there's duplicators later that make it so that like the optimum way to actually get a maximum score would be to just use as much ammo as possible on like the creatures that give extra points. Like centipedes, which give 3. As long as we shoot the tail, those segments will stay segments and it won't split into a head. Oh. There's no way I'm gonna maintain this not getting hit thing for particular. long once we enter the labyrinth. I mean, it says right here, prepare to die. This is absolutely where ZZT runs go to die. Where do we go? Yes, up. Up sounds good. You know, there's like spinning guns, and there's tigers, and there's just lots. There's tigers, yeah. Isn't one of these guys Bill the Whip Tiger in the Town remix? How many gems are worth like 10 points, aren't they? Worth risking. Yeah. But I want the high score. So I can't just shoot a gem. That would be a terrible mistake. 35 years on. Absolutely no idea who Bill is. He lives. At least he did. There's our exit. The first ZZT boss fight. Dragon's Lair. Cyan room. There's something shooting. Some more stuff. Torches do a fantastic job of making movement scary. Oh, can we shoot your tail? You go that way. Ah. Oh, he's after me. Nice. Oh, do it again. Oh, not. Where'd he go? Who is Bill? Oh, a different one. Whoa, doing a good job point-wise. Oh god, just leave. I don't trust going back there. There's a really good chance that I'll just walk directly into a centipede piece or be attacked by one. I think this connects to the maze within the maze. Yeah. The very on the nose named Room of Extreme Annoyance. Hope I'm remembering it right and that this is the path that you need to take first. There's two entrances to this room. You do need to specifically go in both. The key and one to actually get to the door. Oh. Oh. Miss. Ah! Oh no! My perfect score. I mean, I guess the tiger that attacked me meant that that wasn't happening. Oh, I can only shoot one bullet here. Never that easy. No, I'm not gonna. Right up to that key. Spirally shape. Oh no, I could have just gone. Nope, never mind. Alright. Often desperately needed gems for folks who are coming to this part of the game later with less health. Correct play should really be to just leave and go in the other door. Hopefully I've got enough torches. There's a few more here. Down here. Lions. Stay there. So, the way that I found ZZT, a story I have told many times, I'm sure by now. I would have been like 9 years old or something. And every summer, there was a nice old lady who lived across the street a little ways down from us. She ran a community yard sale. Every summer, folks would sign up and chip in a couple bucks to run like a big advertisement in the newspaper. you may have heard of these things. Basically, the entire block just participate in a big old yard sale, and we get a lot of traffic because it was everybody all at once. Being a yard sale full of cheap goods, I was able to convince my mother to give me a few dollars. That is how I found the Games Master shareware CD, which has also been featured on a number of the bonus streams that I've done. That CD, wow. This is a finicky little centipede. But little did I know that that CD, well, fine, you know what? That CD ended up changing the course of my life. Thank you, shareware. Out on the company that produced that CD. I'll look it up next time. But my brother and I found Super ZZT first. Then we later found ZZT. We thought Super ZZT was much better. But then one day I noticed this game had an editor. And that was the moment that changed the course of my life. Why we are playing this right now is why I continue to bump these invisible walls year after year after year. The story, of course, goes we were still very much new to the computer. I didn't quite understand how they worked. So we just ran everything directly off the CD, which meant we weren't allowed to save, because it would just try to save to a read-only disc, obviously. So it took me quite a while. It took me until I learned more about computers. I did not beat this game or Monster Zoo without saving. Why am I going this way? Go out the way I came in. I do always think to myself, can I get through these games in just one go? Be done? I'm sure I can. Wait, we got a blue key. There were the lines down here. I think that transporter is where we want to go. Transporters in dark rooms are always a lot of fun. The ZZT game that I've been making the past few Sunday streams. Also incorporates this. Because it really is just a completely blind warp. You have no idea where you're going to end up when you see one of these things in a dark room. Okay, that is not the way forward. And there's the bill sign. Oh, tigers. Good. It has never felt this intense. Oh, I'm glad I didn't actually shoot those gems. I'm gonna let this torch go out. Want more torches. I don't have a lot. I have a lot more ammo than I expect. I always forget that the labyrinth really does give you a lot of ammo. Right. I think this board is at least danger-free. Oh, hey, I actually made it in a timely manner. Might be a new record for me. Alright. Boss fight. Very musical. I ran past it and then I ran back into it. Alright. So this game conjures up the incredibly specific image of vaporization. It's not much of a boss fight. Very few can make an engaging boss fight. Oh, didn't get anybody there. Oh. Yeah, there's no bonus points for health in this one, so it doesn't actually matter for the high score challenge I'm kind of attempting here, but wow. The tough part is just, you know, actually surviving. There we go. The dragons have been vaporized. Sorry, dragons. Oh man, the invisible boss in caves. Yeah. That's not the greatest either. Alright, we're approaching the entrance in a roundabout way. I think we do have to worry here about transports just leading directly into a whole bunch of lines. Oh my god, I can't shoot more than one bullet at a time on this board. Realizing that my tactics would not have been the best. Otherwise, don't miss if you can only shoot one bullet at a time. That's my advice. Aha! This is probably the correct route if you're trying to pass. White key. Oh right, we're not actually done. Quickly, I forget. Oh, or no, that's right, it's outside the labyrinth. We're done with the scary part. We're off to the throne room now. You know, Tim Sweeney wasn't worried about yellow borders. Look at this gorgeous castle interior. It's got circles. It's got door trim. Something I'm always yelling about now as an old man. Right. The gold walls, that's right. It's beautiful. It's opulent. I'm gonna let these centipedes slowly filter out. It'll make my life a little easier. Hey, deviate. Thank you. Well, don't go that way. Don't want to get blinked on. Oh, right. Got ourselves a purple key. There's so many purple keys here. The speedrunner Narcissa years ago figured out that by breaking this puzzle in a specific way, you can get a lot of purple keys early. This board is like the key to the speedrun route for this game. As for me, it's just another puzzle that I only vaguely remember the solution to. All emits a dull creak. It's very funny to me how many of Sweeney's objects are just the default smiley face character. We need to do here to get that scepter. See if we need to first unlock this little mechanism here. Hello, Glace. Come on in. A bit of tedious back and forth. Remember, nobody wins ZZT without zillions of saves. I think specifically referring to the puzzle elements more than anything else, because if you screw these up, you're just done. You get the key that's all the way up here. There it is, yeah. At least at this point I remember that, yeah, no, we are padding out this walk a little bit. Haven't had enough invisible walls. You gotta really get it out of your system. can do exactly? Think. Who's that boulder? Yeah, so on our other key. I think basically we want to set up that slider contraption while we're nowhere near it. Let's see if I remember things. We do this. Locks. Oh, right. It helps if I actually open the door. I think I just do this. The puzzle design in this series is, like, pretty solid. But that wall is blocked off. Yeah, we are now free around here. I do like the mix of objects in there to make things a little more than just pure slider puzzles. Slider puzzles get old quick. I think something like this is a lot more approachable and appreciable. That jazzy scepter. Riff. Past the one-way blink walls, and one last purple key for us. Now we can get out of here. We've got our first purple key. We picked up like 5 purple keys in the process, but like we've got our first one for real now. That's not the exit. It says enter labyrinth, prepare to die. Don't need to go that way. Alright, buddy. Here's your stupid scepter. Brave it. Remember to open the palace door. Again, yeah, door trim. He's using it here. He seems to realize that it can be difficult to tell what color ZZT's doors are. But he insisted they must be a white foreground. I don't think there's any ruffians in this first pocket. So, you know, as long as we're puzzling, let's do the west path next. 3 lakes. This was such a fun board. It's so stupidly simple. And when you're a little kid, this is actually a real challenge. Oh, what? No. It does get harder, too, if you screw up. Because now there are just always going to be a large quantity of bullets. Oh, I don't like that I have to go all the way up here. That's like 1. For number 2. Oh. Okay. It's a good board. There's a reason everybody ripped off every single thing that this game did, and it's not just because it was the only thing they could rip off. This was the hard part. Thank you for these. I should just do like an arcade game that's just more lakes. An endless version of that. Alright. Unfortunately, I do just know the solution to this, because there's not actually a whole lot to it. Please listen to the part where it says to save 5 times. Please don't listen to the part where it says 3 tries, because that's just a lie. You may listen to the ARG and the no desire. this guy off. Because you don't actually have a lot of things you can do here. Pretty much everything you do makes it very clear immediately that you're screwed. Right, let's push 2x slow. Try and remember what that means. That means we did it right. We can't shoot here. We must use the bomb. Okay, got it in one. Man, again, as a kid, finally getting past the 3 lakes, only to see this and just be like, oh, I wasted my time because this is impossible and no human being will ever be able to solve the Rube board. Get some bonus points, why not? That's a great sound. Would be great to put it in every single heart object that gives you health in caves. Oh, it doesn't disappear? I mean, I know it's not going to give me infinite bonus points, but I didn't realize that it doesn't go away. Alright, well, we are doing a good job points-wise. You got to do the 3 lakes backwards. A little bit easier going with the bullets than against them. Yeah. Be thankful for the little shield. It's almost like a reverse tower defense. You're looking for an idea for a game there. Place your spinning guns and shoot the approaching player. That's our second key. It goes by quick. Branches are not exactly the same length. XL Chicken Man, thank you for the follow. Sure was. Alright, that's 2. Well, I guess it's gotta be south. Can't go to the bank just yet. I mean, we can, but don't know the combination. I don't have the bank combination memorized. A lot of people do who played this game growing up. I think it starts with a 4. Somebody could probably... Honestly, if you know it, go ahead and just say it. I'm not going to enter it. We're going to play the game normally and all, but... do not have that number down in my mind. Have to get it the correct way. Oh boy, if you thought I didn't shoot enough centipede segments yet in my quest for a very high score... Now, 4036, that sounds right. I believe it. Oh, you fool. You done. Alright, well, you're only 2 anyway. Oh. I think I got that segment before it turned into a head. Well, they're coming to get me now. I know that there have been like a number of other games that have done 40364. Oh, I don't know why I took the longest ping pong path here imaginable. If I started on this board when I said I'm going to go for like a very high score, I would have stopped going for a very high score. Please, centipedes, I need you to like move in such a way that I can shoot your butt. Thank you. Yeah, if you can take out the whole segment before they turn into ahead. I think he still should get like the most points. Yeah, it's got 7 colors. Like, that's a lot. 7. Why would you need more than that? Surely anything could be represented with this. You, I definitely do want to get the tail. If I could actually get you to come up here. This little dead end is perfect. Right, come on. Fine. Fine. On up. Come on up. Yeah. Stay up. I didn't. I knew you. I knew I couldn't count on you. Oh, they're just gonna be nuts here. Alright, I'm getting very tired of this. I don't know how y'all do this. There we go. That one was really nice. Let's just start getting these keys. And whatever gets in my way will get shot. The true ZZT way. One shot does definitely make this harder. It's really interesting how many boards in town do have the shot limit set to 1. I really wonder if there was ever consideration for making that the default. Because it does radically change how these games play. Especially in more open spaces, where if you miss, you might not be able to shoot another bullet for like several seconds. I feel like this is going to be the first time in my life that I've ever actually bothered shooting every single centipede in the bug maze, turning it into a maze. We haven't even commented on the incredible ick. Bugs, look out! It's got that classic early computer gaming. Gotta label our boards, we gotta know what level this screen is. There we go. Alright. 2,800 points, is that good? I don't know. I think it's good. I don't know how much I can juice this number compared to just a casual playthrough, honestly. Though we still got more health than we lost. Yeah, I've only been hit 3 times so far then? Because I should have 42 more health. Or 40 more health from the gems. Part of 100... No, 30. Here. It would be 142. Enter. And then when he's not just using smiley faces for things, he's just like, I don't know. Pick a symbol. Into the prison we shall go. This is a fun one. There's a big old obstacle course. We get introduced to a time limit there on the right. Of course, if we get hit, we'll get sent all the way back to the beginning. Some bears. Lions are only 1 point each, so I certainly don't want to farm the duplicator here. But this is why actually really trying to maximize your high score just becomes medium. It's just never miss a shot and always shoot duplicated enemies that give more than 1 point. Once you've killed all the centipedes in the game. Alright, time limit's also pretty generous. What's less generous is the the thing that says time with a bunch of gems, and you think, oh, does this give me more time? And no, it just means, hey, do you have time to pick these up? I mean, it's not like gems don't give you enough already with health and points and gems. Alright, mind the gap. Shoot back against the guns, which makes this a bit easier than the 3 lakes. Yeah, the Eastern Forest is absolutely the place where you go to farm. If that's what you want to do with your time. Bridge the gap. Oh, you can even make it look pretty. Good color choices here. Still got 30 seconds even. Here's our prisoner. World famous ZZT bandit. Inmate number 15925. Name of the ZZT bandit. Arrested for armed robbery of the Bank of ZZT. Violation of the Civilized Object Code of Conduct. And unlawful syntax error. Sentence: n years of imprisonment, where n equals the largest integer such that n and n plus 2 are both prime. This was entirely lost on me when I was 10, if you can believe that. Alright, well, ain't no prisons here today. We're free now. Thank you, fellow bandit, for freeing me. You will be repaid. I have hidden the secret to the Bank of ZZT in the armory. It is to be found behind a row of boulders. There they go. Everyone's favorite ZZT character. And we got some information on how to find the bank vault combo. I'm realizing you could go left first. There's nothing stopping you from going left. But we want to do this early. This is probably the worst board in town. This is where the run dies, if the run is going to die. I was thinking all about like, the labyrinth can be a bit rough. Be low on health and really lose a bunch in the dark if you're not careful. But this is scary. Once these guys start getting hit, they start throwing stars, and the stars will start pushing these bombs, and it can just very much become straight up unwinnable very quickly. Try and mitigate that a little bit by grouping up my bombs. Little sacrificial bomb. I think that'll not hit anything. Yeah. And the path is set up to... It is impossible to actually burrow through here without activating any of them. And if we do get hit, we get yanked back to the start of the board, which is extremely difficult to do anything else. I think that I like that. Yeah, okay, actually this is so far so good. Again, we're going to free one of these things eventually. And I think that we're at that point now. Closing that by the bottommost one. Alright, go, 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 go. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, man. I was so excited if I was going to get through that without, like, taking any damage whatsoever. That went well. Actually, that went incredibly well. Well, the stars homing in, they're kind of moving away from the bombs at this point, but once the bombs start getting pushed around, they can get put into corners against edges and just There's so many ways for this board to go horribly, horribly wrong. Yeah, I did at least get the speedrun strat. If I was gonna get hit anywhere in the game, that's probably the place to do it. Here it is. There I go. Get out of that board and never look back. I feel like every one of the 4 original worlds has something like that, where the game design hit gets a little too questionable for me. It's not an insurmountable challenge, but it is one where your failure just doesn't feel like your fault. It just feels like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, if I screw this up, that's on me. I believe there is like a specific order you kind of want to do this in. The target practice board in Dungeons is by far the worst thing about it. About like any of these games. Oh, I need to line. I'm trying to like look like I'm skilled with this stream so far. I'm gonna get to Dungeons and that board's gonna have me crying. What's funny is a game that I played fairly recently for ZZT, Void of ZZT from like 2007, which for the most part is really good and challenging, and then towards the end it just starts taking a handful of boards from other games. It takes that dungeon target practice board, and it's rough. It ruins like an otherwise like really good game with a really bad board that anybody downloading Void of ZZT has probably already played. Considering it's like a, hey, remember the old ZZT worlds? Here's my take on it. Yeah, we're doing every single one of these this year. Yeah, it is a multiple of 5 for ZZT's birthday. Honestly, I half want to do it like this every year. I can only say so many things about these. And this is a nice entry-level slider puzzle. This is a lot more solvable for a child than the Rube board. I think we want to do number 3 here. I have room to push this right, or do I have to go the long way around? Oh no, it fits. It just barely fits, but it fits. Oh, this one though. Hang on. This one's gotta go to the right. Okay. 1,000 games CD when I was a kid. Yeah, that's how it goes. Barely able to solve any of the rooms, but the editor was super interesting. That's basically everybody's story, especially in like the 90s. 1996 releases you want to do for an anniversary stream. Honestly, I don't really go out of my way for anniversary streams, just because usually the dates are fuzzy to begin with, and I never think about them in advance. Like, if you're asking me to even just name some ZZT worlds that came out in 1996, I want to say End of the World by Creator. That's an all-timer, IMO. But that's also one that I know that I've streamed multiple times. Why am I lining up number 3 again? We already got number 3. So easy to get distracted. One to the right, and then this top one's gonna have to get blocked off. There is still some like elements where like the order matters. You have to be careful here. There's definitely worlds in the later 90s and stuff that I have a better idea of the exact year. 96 is a little bit before my time. I was getting my shareware CD, I think, in 97. Why do I keep... I'm just having so much fun chatting with my lovely audience. Okay. Yeah, so if I lined up this column earlier, I'd be in a lot of trouble with the left side of this board being completely blocked off there. I think maybe Warlock Domain, is that 96? That's like... That's so good that I'm looking it up, because it's like, wait, do I have an excuse to play Warlock Domain again? That's 95. Ah, I missed it, see? That's why you can't... Why you can't rely on these anniversaries. Otherwise, you'll never get to play them. Again, I'm not even sure with End of the World. Maybe Civian, is that 96? That sounds about right. Well, I guess we'll think fast. I do like this just initial barrage of bears that immediately destroy all the breakable walls and teach you very quickly that bears can do that. Oh, no, not like this. Ah! Don't go through there, please. That was close. I'm very lucky that I was able to shoot a bullet there again. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I mean, I bet I can do a really nice job of like 2028, 2029, because that's when like all the stuff that I grew up on that was new. That's another thing. Like ZZT games, well, they absolutely change over the years. They've just kind of always been accessible in a big group compared to like console gaming and honestly most PC gaming in like the 90s. Anything where you had to go to like the store where old stuff would be like cycled out. Like I was playing those 1996 games for the first time in like 1999. The museum is honestly the first archive that actually did bother with dates. And you know what? It's a nightmare. Actually, Nightmare might be 1996. Oh, these tigers are so aggressive when I can only shoot a single bullet at a time. It's working, though. Oh, but yeah, see, you miss, and now I can't shoot. Hey, Zen, happy ZZT Sunday. We are on a pretty solid run of town. I'm trying to get a high score, because I thought that would be fun to do. Been working fairly well, until this board, where I took, like, as many hits as I have for the rest of the game. Love it if it's like... Well, they're not. They would move in my general direction. Using these built-ins effectively is also something that, like, not a lot of folks did. Sweeney here recognizing that, like, what makes this top part effective is the fact that the tigers are not following the players, the fact that their intelligence is low, so that they can keep shooting from a distance instead. Alright, we get our green key. Solved our sliding puzzle. Get out of here. Sorry. Didn't finish pushing my boulders, my bad. I think you actually shoot this thing. Yeah. The intro is like, hey, or actually the help file was saying touch things. It doesn't say shoot things. Walk off the board edges, save often. Keep an open mind. This is ZZT, the object-oriented game, and just about anything can, and probably will, happen. That's a really good one, actually. Health point. You health. You fully supports joystick operation. Say so. Mouse play. That would be a fun challenge, actually, to try and beat one of these games actually using the mouse controls. Because they're bad. They're extremely bad. It even says at the very end there, at times you may prefer to use the keyboard. But no, we do have to shoot this thing. Right on. Left off. It's a toughie. There is not a lot of margin for error. Like, again, the fact that I still have 100 health as if I had just started the game is kind of remarkable for me. What, key number 3? And we're about to get number 4. like almost immediately after this. Gotta do a good amount of backtracking, but it's not too bad. Like, you do just get to go around the edge of this maze. You don't have to really engage with that again, which is kind. Actually, I think after I get mauled by these ruffians, because, you know what? No, I'm not going to get mauled by these ruffians. I'm going to go out of my way to reduce the chances of being mauled by ruffians. They are all over that door, and they are probably going to kill me. I am going to lure them away. Hopefully. Okay, up here enough. Perfect, yeah. Now I can... Maybe. I still have a good opportunity to move. Maybe I can open this door without them immediately swarming it. Yeah, even still got one. Okay. What I was going to say is I'm going to run my ad break real quick. We'll be back in a few minutes. Investigate the armory again. See if we can find that bank combination. Get keys number 4 and 5. Stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let us resume our adventure through the town of ZZT here. The hard part's over, other than the last hard part. At this point, it should be pretty smooth sailing. Are there even any dark boards left in the game? Oh yeah, there will be. Actually, let's get a couple torches, because we can't do anything else with these gems, and we've got a lot of ammo. Here's your torch. Here's your torch. Torch, torch, torch. Probably didn't need to buy any, honestly. It's a good Raichu. I really love ZZT art, especially just when folks just run with it. And they're just like, nah, this is what I made. Hope you like it. Let's just see what the message is. Here's your ammo. Happy hunting. Alright, we were told to check behind some boulders in the armory. So it looks like fancy decoration. We should now know from our lighting puzzle. Like, wait a minute. We can push these things around. There's a secret passage? There is! A fake wall. Exciting stuff. And this is not the bank vault combination. We'll come back here. Don't ask how this connects to the House of Blue. It's not important. But no, what we're actually looking for is the other secret passage. Over here. If you push the boulder in, then you soft lock the game because you block the exit. Oops. We get the bank vault combination most painful way possible. Slowly figure it out. We get a cool glimpse of something else in the corner. And, you know, it would make sense for this to be made out of invisibles if it was like at all possible to first enter this board from the other section and be spoiled on this, but that's like the end of the game there. When you finally get to that, you will have already gotten all the purple keys before you enter that section. Alright, 40354. I remember that. Only need to keep it in my head for like 10 more seconds. 354. Oh. 3. 5. It can take a minute. Now that I've read this number from my brain. To just kind of appreciate this setup here. The way that we're actually using sliders to input digits, a game that otherwise has no real way for the player to input a number. Can't see it with the lights off, but up above here, we are pushing boulders into place and vertical sliders out of the way. If you push the push, you can actually push. And of course, you can also just start your ZZT experience by immediately running into the bank with one of the torches that you can get on the starting board. See a sign that says push, push that, and instantly soft lock. It's great. What? I did it wrong. $403. It was 6. It was 6. I threw away my run. Well, my no deaths, my no restores. Never mind. This is why it's... That's why it's invisible walls. Oh my god. That's monstrous. I take it all back. I'm deleting ZZT right now. 35 years. This is what happens. My perfect run. My very imperfect perfect run. Nobody wins ZZT without a zillion saves. Not even me. I can't believe I did that. What a mean game. How cruel can you be? Cannot believe that. All my credibility just completely gone. I'll open the palace door. Man. That stinks. Didn't die. Oh yeah, we also can finally get a look at the palace. Mostly. It's very colorful. Very cool looking. There may be a man at the end. The problem is that smiley faces in town aren't necessarily people. Sometimes they're just weird wall pushing mechanisms. I'm gonna skip this cave for our way back, but I'll take the torches. And I gotta get the show back on the road here. Into the forest we shall go. We get introduced to pushers here, I guess, if we haven't seen them. I mean, they kind of cut out your route back, so that's something. Ooh. Ogresk, raiding. Welcome on in, thank you. Welcome, raiders. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? We are here celebrating ZZT's 35th anniversary, which will be on the 15th of the month. And we're celebrating by playing each of the original ZZT worlds each Sunday. Starting here today with Town of ZZT, the first ever ZZT game. This is what it looks like. This is what it is. Thankfully, you all just missed me screwing up entering a bank vault combination, having to reload a save and embarrass myself. You get points for destroying monsters with energizers. I genuinely don't know. I'm gonna test on a ruffian. That's too many points up for grabs up top there. 3355. Okay, you do. I wouldn't be a little worried, but I wouldn't put it past him. Where does ZZT1 existed? The text editor with the little game element. That would be fun to see. There's still a text editor in this. you go into the editor, you can actually just edit like raw text files and not just ZZT worlds, and it's really buggy and not great. But all the evidence out there points to ZZT 2.0 being the initial release, where we get our January 15th date. Well, it matches the January 15th date. One version of ZZT, I think maybe Best of ZZT or something, has like in its About section, like, yeah, ZZT originally released on January 15th. We're just like, oh. We've been looking for that date for about 20 some years before we finally found it. I'm gonna see if I can get some of these players. Big group, enough time for all of them. I'm trying to get a high score. Or at least a higher score than before. Come on in here. Take care of yourself. We'll be ZZTing for at least another probably 10-20 minutes. Especially if I'm, once again, gonna be chasing a centipede everywhere. Oh, there's another one-shot board, too. Ah! Oh! Come on. This is kind of a tedious way to play. But it is certainly a different challenge, and not one that I'm used to. I'm honestly gonna take this for the lions, because they're gonna be much more annoying to deal with otherwise. This is a big fella, huh? Huge. Well, the points are going to be the same whether I shoot him or zap him. It's just I'm more likely to get hurt fighting the lions than these guys. It's a gem. You are huge. That means you have a huge segment. That's right. I'm getting impatient. Well, this one's going for me, though. I don't know why I'm making the paths wider, as if that's going to be beneficial in any way. Oh, well, we'll go with that. Okay. We're mixing up on like the way this game is shaded too. Everything else pretty much so far has been like normal walls with breakable. Or breakable walls with like a normal wall outline. Now here we get normal and solid. Okay. Coming up is everybody's favorite board. This is ZZT. ZZT is a 1991 X-Mode game for DOS, released by none other than Epic Mega Games. At the time was just Tim Sweeney and nobody else. It's got its own little level editor, and for 35 years people have been making stuff with it. And for this month, to celebrate its anniversary, we are checking out all of the original worlds that were first released with the program. Starting here, we're playing Town of ZZT, getting some purple keys to try and make it into the palace. Finally, the sequel to Forest, more Forest. Welcome on in. This is the board I think specifically, I think it would be these ruffians. Ah, well, I mean, the points being lost doesn't really matter. That's only a health concern. Our goal here is to find 5 purple keys and get into a palace. It's just kind of an open-ended little adventure. You run around, shoot ruffians, centipedes, lions in red down there. I'm also kind of going for a high score, just because it would be fun to do. But that aspect of the game is just kind of not really necessarily important. And it's got its own scripting language, which lets you do things like put trees down. Old, just, you know, boring old trees. That talk. Here it is, the world famous tree. Invest in leaves. Not financial advice. Old, boring, talking. Well, the duplicators are this a bit. Let's see. Ah. See, the real thing is I don't have the patience to literally farm these duplicators and you wait for like 200 ruffians to spawn in. You know? The rate I'm suddenly going. Listen, man, I got the ammo. I will use it. See, now my health is actually kind of worrying, because the final board of this game is very easy to die on. Although I guess the fact that I had to reload this already won't be like a 1 credit clear. I did have to restore my save, because somehow I put in the bank vault combination wrong. And by somehow, I mean because I didn't actually read the bank vault. We got us some, it's all just DOS PC speaker. It's got quite a sound to it, though, for sure. Oh, there are so many centipedes at this point. Okay, not no more there ain't. But welcome, yeah. I play ZZT games pretty much every Friday at 6 Pacific and Sundays at noon Pacific. We take a look at the old, the new, the weird, whatever we can. We found a lot of cool stuff. I run the Museum of ZZT, which museumofzzt.com is where you can find all these games. It is the primary archive for these worlds today. Oh, I stole a fake wall because I was standing on a fake wall up there. There are a number of these games out there. They're easy to play, easy to make. You can play them all in your browser these days too, which is convenient. See if we can solve this house of blues. Thank you for the follow, Calico. That. Got the singing jazz man in the House of Blues. Well, there's a website. You know, it's my museum, dang it. That's what I call it. Alright, our puzzle here is to just play back that sweet, sweet song. Yeah, there we go. Starting note. Well, I hope you like the music, because we're gonna be hearing it. Just in time for the auto plug. Thank you, Jazzman. Okay, now for the actually other scary board I forgot about, because with some really bad luck, we can just straight up break the game and cause the player to be destroyed entirely on this board, which would be really bad. Would be very bad for the run. Basically, I don't want those lions to get me. Lions, conveyors, just anything that moves in ZZT pretty much, and conveyors don't mix. They're buggy. This little lion is trying his best. Oh, come on. That's how it's gonna be. That's what we're doing today. Alright. And now that I've gotten rid of all the danger, I very awkwardly mash my way to these doors and pick up all these keys. It's safe, but now it's boring. The inevitable trade-off. Please, I just want a key. Let me grab the key. Go. This one's actually... Yeah, that one was being nice and really sticking to the wall. I don't think there's really any reasonable chance of shooting the segments for extra points with these centipedes. Please let me out. Thank you. There's technically some wiggle room, but not a lot. I guess we can do this here. That almost seems kind of mean doing it like that. What is this one doing now? Come on. As long as the segments don't turn into heads, they're worth extra points. So if I can destroy the entire centipede before its pieces respawn as heads, it's still the same amount. With that, though, we've got the fifth and final purple key. Finally enter the palace and get our reward. Get out of here alive. Or we can spend like half an hour shooting these ruffians. I will clear them out. Because, like, they're being cooperative a little bit. To play it, you can play it directly on your browser. The front page of the museum's got a Play ZZT link on it that will actually take you to a little setup that has all the original worlds and a couple other official releases. You can play pretty much anything on the museum by just clicking a Play Online link if you browse through its files. If you want to actually run it on your machine directly, the most common way to do it is with an emulator called Zeta. You can again find a quick link to that on like the left sidebar of the museum. And then just a copy of ZZT, the original DOS program, and it'll work great. Open zeta.exe, it'll load ZZT. There it is. Actually, let me just link, because I actually recently did this link. This is the lengthy version of instructions on getting started. But basically, you download Zeta, you download ZZT, you drop everything in the same directory, any other ZZT worlds you've come across, and you just run the Zeta executable. It'll automatically load up the old DOS ZZT. Pretty much jump in. Yeah, the regular version of ZZT, I use a slightly modified one with this different HUD for streaming, so it can all fit nicely. But the actual original game has all the controls and stuff listed on the sidebar. I didn't consider that getting hit because I didn't leave the board. My last entrance here was. Oh man, please. Alright, we're gonna leave it at that, I think, before I get myself killed. all the controls and stuff are just on the sidebar. It's just arrows and shooting, as Coolio's saying. There are far more complicated games folks have made than this kind of gameplay, but Town is a great starting point, as are all the original worlds, really, and other early official releases, ZZT's Revenge and the Best of ZZT, to kind of get a feel for the program, the game. And there's lists and stuff on the museum you can also find if you're just looking for recommendations. The featured world and the spotlight in the corner will show you some interesting stuff. Welcome on in, Zen. We are currently exploring the cave. We just got our 5th key. Oh, I am low. I am now worried about the end, even though I already did die once. Because I didn't die, I just screwed up. I'm just like in purgatory. Technically speaking, I could have like farmed ruffians and maybe still gotten a high score. Probably not. You get a big bonus for actually finishing the game. Bear. Yeah, where there's one bear, there's usually more. Welcome on in. We are getting sorry. Welcome on in. We are making our way through Town of ZZT here. Start our celebration of ZZT's 35th birthday. Trying to get a good score too, for once in my life. 2 mixed results. I'm just having some fun. You can get silly with ZZT, that's part of the appeal. You want to just make the letter Z with some conveyors and shove the player around, you go for it. And we get a purple door in the cave for adventurers bold enough to use one of these like critical game resources just to see what lies beyond this door. The answer is another purple key, it's fine. But you don't know that the first time, you don't know that. This way to the caves of ZZT. You say so. Looking for more adventure? Exploring caves? Specifically? Order the Caves of ZZT, another exciting game world from Atomic Computer Systems. With plenty of new creatures, I guess, and more than 40 rooms to explore, you'll find your share of adventure in this one. And you can open the order form, except you can't. Because for whatever reason, not like a single version... Oh, neat. That causes that to happen? Not like a single release of ZZT proper. That's true. Look, there's even a board to the north. We must make our way to the caves. So, caves is going to be our game for next Sunday. As it is, I guess, the most sequely. There is a canonized order, but all these games are very independent of each other. It really doesn't matter so much, but Caves was the bonus world for anybody who registered their copy of ZZT. Get Caves for free, and if you were, actually buying more ZZT games, which you probably were, I don't know who was registering their shareware and not to get something out of it. The caves will be next, followed by the dungeons of ZZT, and then finally the city of... Yeah, this is going to be the cutoff. If I wanted to try and farm ruffians at that duplicator, I could. That's really boring. If somebody wants to challenge themselves to really max out the high score, that's the way to do it. Every bullet that you spend on a creature that doesn't give 2 or more points is now a wasted bullet in terms of going for points. So it's not ideal. And you're still going to have to stay alive. Sorry, I interrupted the music. We're here. The palace. I've only dreamed of it. Once again, another smiley face that doesn't have a word to say to us. This is a cool effect. But we are cut off now because of that. No going back. Only go forward. We need yet another purple key somehow. It's a really good board. It really does a nice job of just like hyping you up for like, oh, you did it, buddy. You're here. You made it. You open that fourth door, you get a glimpse of this, and you're like, ah, man, I can't wait to find out what's going to happen here. And then you finally get to see it. Not over yet. Do not bank on that number. It is not the correct number. I missed a tile. It's 40364. Please do not bank on that number. You will regret it. We get a real good... It's a really good example of the weirdness that ZZT games love to embrace. You get this ampersand. And it is just an ampersand. It is not an abstraction, ASCII form. We just got an ampersand. And funnily enough, that object, it's in its code. You never get to see it during gameplay, but it is just named necklace. Like, he's like, yeah, you're gonna find some treasure for some bonus points. And he's like, no, it would be funnier if it was just an ampersand. And he was right. It is much funnier as an ampersand than just picking up a necklace. I've picked up too many necklaces and not nearly as many ampersands. Okay, the final challenge. I've got 60 health, which isn't bad. Not great. We get this cool shot. We get to admire our handiwork. We did it. We solved the Rube board, not the rude board, although it is pretty rude. Surprise! It's dark. It's not over yet. Ammo. A horrible, horrible room filled with tigers. Look at this, too many tigers, frankly. Okay, we just have to ride on in and hope to God that we don't die. No, not like this. Exactly like that. I didn't pay attention to my torch. I had to press T. I had to light another torch so that I could see. That's the actual game over. 60 health just gone in an instant. Start over. Oh. This does not bode well for the next 3 games in this series. Look at that pathetic high score. 2026. This is also going to be my training to type the year correctly. Tigers in dark. That's my obituary. Die does he live? The lack of health is very much a design decision. It definitely makes the games much more challenging and perhaps off-putting than it needs to be because of it. All of the original worlds are really restrictive about their health. It gets a little bit nicer about it in caves and city. But these games are very much balanced around the idea that like you might get to that board with like 10 health and just you have to start over. There is no hope at that point. You are going to take damage on that board. And because no, that's right. You don't have to ride it the first one. You can just I did it. That's you know what? I take it back. It's all on me. You just kind of not go in with it. It wants you to go in with it. You do need to ride one of them, but you got a chance to shoot first. Yeah, if I had just done that, never mind, I would have taken 0 damage. You aren't screwed. I'm just an idiot. I blew it. And for no reason, it's not even... I could have just not put myself in that situation that I voluntarily put myself in on multiple levels. I chose to just go in there, and I chose not to look at my torchlight, which was on the verge of expiring. I just immediately put myself in the dark. Oh lord, did I pay for it. That's the final challenge. We're done. We're done here. Nobody gets through ZZT without a zillion saves. 1,000,001 now. Yeah, it's just knee deep in the dead, except there is more, unfortunately. But anybody bold enough and foolish enough to just immediately ride the pusher in is probably going to die. Alright, let's see what our victory celebration is going to look like. You win! Congratulations, adventurer. You have conquered the town of ZZT, and you get a sick drum beat as a reward. You are a bold warrior. You are a brave adventurer. You are a great many things. But the show's over. So go away. Then he goes away. You win. Oh, is this an infinite drum beat? Guess so. Congratulations, you have successfully completed. On a second attempt, but third attempt. I think that's going to be a high score, though. But not by as much. I was really hoping I could hit 15,000. And if I shot some of my 200 ammo at some more ruffians, I could have. That's a fun read on it. You can see it like that, Zin. Alright, the actual 2026 run of Town of ZZT is... Yeah, man, I was going out of my way to get extra points, and it only amounted to 36? I don't remember going for a high score in previous years. Certainly not on this level. Like, I was really going out of my way with centipedes to just try and shoot the segments for a bonus point. Yeah! But apparently it really doesn't amount to much. And even then, I must have, like... Yeah, but like, it's not like the 2022 run is that much of a gap either. It is very clear that you will beat this game with like 14,000 points. I don't know, Neil must have been speedrunning or something here. But that is Town of ZZT. It is our first ZZT game ever. Let me just drop some links in chat. We got a number of folks here. But I'm Dr. Das. I run the Museum of ZZT scene here. It is an archive of ZZT worlds created over the past 35 years with something more than 4,000 available for download. The vast majority of which you can play directly in your browser. ZZT is shot for yourself. We of course have a Discord like any other community on the internet these days. It is an especially helpful place if you're looking either for help getting started with ZZT, or if you want to try make your own games with ZZT. It's still an active and thriving community. Yeah, a score breakdown would be interesting. I mean, it's 10,000, it's 10k for the end, it's 1k for the necklace. I was like paying enough attention to my score going through the game where I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm missing points before I remembered that necklace does give you some. So you get 11k there. Then after that, it's just a couple thousand that you pick up naturally for the most part. Yes, the museum. Bleh, excuse me. Museum of ZZT has hundreds and thousands of worlds for you to check out. The Town of ZZT is very much straightforward, simple stuff, exactly what ZZT was made to do, but over the years people have done quite a bit with it, pushing the limits and finding out what could be done with it. There's platformers, RPGs, racing games, shooting games. Got visual novels now. There's been quite a bit. If you look around, find something of interest, I'm sure. It's an unfortunately unknown medium there, which is a real shame because there's some genuinely really impressive stuff people have made with ZZT over the years, and there's very few people have seen it. I make sure to stream these games every week, twice, not more, probably not more. Make sure that these worlds they get seen, that people can find out about them. Yeah, it introduced so many people to game development. I think like the youngest on record like ZZTer was like 8 years old when they released the game. Like, it's kind of absurd how accessible ZZT was. It still is. You have a lot of options these days, of course, for creating your own video games, but that was much less the case in the 90s and early 2000s. ZZT really got a whole lot of people into making their own games, and a number of them went on to keep doing so. You know, is it like Ed McMullen from The Binding of Isaac? Like, he got to start with ZZT. Who else have we got here? I'm bad at remembering names. It's the real problem. But we've seen a whole bunch of people who've gotten jobs in game design and such with it. David N. If you're a Doom fan and you've heard of the Ramp project, he started off with ZZT, which is why there's a number of ZZT references all throughout the Ramp hub. Yeah, Mad Guy. That's kind of another big one. Burger Joint for ZZT is just one of the all-time greats, and a number of his releases were quite impressive. And he then went on and made Streets of Rogue. It really is something special, though. I urge you all to check it out if you haven't. This is just down here is just the beginning. Again, our Discord, we'd be happy to recommend worlds, happy to point you in the right direction if there's anything in particular you're interested in. If you want to play ZZT games that star Yoshi, this lovable guy. There's plenty of like child-made fan games of things. A lot of bootleg Zelda and Pokemon and all that good stuff. There's just a lot of really neat things. But I don't want to dawdle for too long. I'm going to move us on over to our credits here. They are farewells. Again, check out the Museum of ZZT if you're interested. Check out our Discord as well at museumofzzt.com/discord to get the invite link for that. Hope to see you around. I said too much before my credits rolled, and my credits roll one patron at a time, so now we gotta watch the credits. A lot of Barney in ZZT, that's true too. It is very much a 90s experience. I hope you all had fun. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all for your subscriptions and follows and raids and such today. I don't get raided very often. Let me make sure to do a shout out here. That is appreciated. So much Barney and ZZT is mentioned on Wikipedia. That's right. ZZT taught us how to spell alignment incorrectly. It's the famous typo in his programming language, where it spells it with an extra L. As there are two kinds of dinosaurs. You're either a Yoshi or a Barney. Alright, thank you again for watching. We will be back again this Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific. I'm not 100% on what we're gonna play, just because of future schedule-y things. I know Will has a really impressive new game, Cannonball Run 2177, which is made with Weave, which is taking ZZT's code and building on top of it. I definitely am going to be checking that one out, but I might be taking the next Friday off, and I'd rather start that one when I have Fridays free for a little bit, not just immediately taking a break from it. But we'll see. I gotta figure out what my schedule is. One last time, thank you all for watching. Hope you all had fun. Thank you for the support. Hope to see you all next time. Later.